Shelby Bonnie, and I'm the host of the Technology for Obama Innovator Series. We're here today with Jon Bischke, founder of Entelo and founder of a bunch of other companies as well. So I want to talk a little bit about this coming election. And we've talked about innovation, and I'm curious why you think this election is important if you care about innovation.
Yeah. So one of the things that I think is increasingly important is that our government is dialed into what's going on in Silicon Valley, not just Silicon Valley, but the other tech ecosystems and innovation hubs in the country. I've had the privilege of being a part of a number of things, of Startup America, Business Forward, another number of groups where I've been able to meet with leaders in government and leaders in the administration and really talk about the issues that are front and center for us. And I think that through that process, I've gained a really solid understanding and belief that the administration is listening in a way that's
which is not a commonly held
thought. In fact, we just recently hosted a group of people out at the White House several weeks ago, and a lot of those business leaders that were there had never had any interaction with government before at that level. And a number of them came up to me afterwards and said, I am so much more impressed by what government is today than I was yesterday. And that to me said a lot about the efforts of the administration. And so I think that we've been able to navigate a very tough time economically. And I believe that the right thing to do is to foster entrepreneurship. And so in order to do that, you really should be listening to entrepreneurs and to their issues. And I feel the administration has done an incredible job of that.
And do you think, we talked a lot about kind of core values of what makes innovation work. I think there's a common belief that Washington doesn't get that. Do you think the president gets that?
I do. I absolutely do. And I think that the president realizes that in part, he won the election based on technology. He was the most tech-forward president we've had in terms of how he approached that. And so I think that just as we in Silicon Valley look to Washington for leadership of our country, I think increasingly Washington looks to Silicon Valley and other tech ecosystems for leadership as well. And as you think about the rise of Facebook and Twitter and these other social networks and the impact they've had, not just in the US, but around the world and what's happened in the Middle East, I think that any government that's not thinking about that proactively and trying to say, okay, how do we understand what's coming down the pipe with technology, you have to do that in today's society.
And we talked earlier about the importance of kind of fostering a culture that will allow for failure. Washington doesn't seem, you have a highly partisan environment. They seem, they don't seem as forgiving if you try something and it doesn't work. What do you think we need to do to change that?
Yeah, I think that if you look at the biggest challenge, or one of the biggest challenges facing our country, it's all around job creation. It's all around allowing for new jobs to be created by innovators and by entrepreneurs. And so whether it's policy or other efforts that we can do to foster that, those are the things that are important to our country. And I think that through things like Startup America, through the Jobs Act, anybody who goes onto a crowdfunding website and gets money to be able to live out their dream, that's fostering innovation. And so the administration, I believe, has done a good job and will continue to do a good job in essentially removing some of these barriers and supporting that. And that will ultimately lead to job creation, which is the most important thing that could happen.
That's great. Well, that's very encouraging. So pleasure talking to you. In the next segment, we're going to spend a little time talking about kind of innovation in America.
Great.
So thank you.
Excellent.